We're joined today by Dr Peter Molloy, Executive Chairman at Firebrick. Peter, thanks for your time.
Pleasure to be here.
Investors love companies that do two things: commercialise products and identify products. You've done both. The first product you're developing, tell us about it and why is it so exciting?
Well, the first product, I actually have a sample. You can't do this with a cancer drug, but this is a nasal spray that kills all germs, including viruses and bacteria, and it's a real product, and it's in fact on the market, so we are commercialising. But the idea goes back a long way, and we did all the R&D that we needed to do on this over a period of about 10 years. That's behind us now, and now we're in the commercialisation phase. Early stage, but still in the commercialisation phase.
Let's talk about the commercialisation. How are you rolling it out and what is the strategy?
Well, look, one of the key considerations for us is how are regulators going to treat this product? Unfortunately, in some markets, like Australia, it's considered a medicine. Now, that drug classification introduces some pretty high evidentiary hurdles for approval, and sometimes they're insurmountable. And Australia is not alone in this regard, but there are many other markets that take, I would say, a more common sense approach to this and treat it as a topical antiseptic, which is essentially what it is. It's an antiseptic for the nose. Let me demonstrate how it works. That's what you do. And what you're doing is you're putting a layer of povidone iodine in the nose, and povidone iodine is a very effective but very safe broad spectrum antiseptic. So basically, at the moment, whatever bacteria and viruses might be in my nose, I'm hoping that they're being eradicated by that.
What markets are you currently in and what are you learning from the sales in those markets?
Well, as I said, we're looking for markets where the regulatory hurdles allow this to be treated as a topical antiseptic. The first market we identified was Singapore, and that's why we're on the market in Singapore. And in Singapore, we didn't need regulatory approval because they said it's an antiseptic. The same in the Philippines. In the Philippines, it's regarded as an antiseptic for nasal use. We have to do some rudimentary filings there, and the same in Indonesia, where it was recently approved, again as an antiseptic. So we're looking for those markets where we can make it available. Ironically, one of those markets is the US, where, provided you don't make therapeutic claims, it can be marketed as a cosmetic nasal cleanser. That's what we're doing in the US.
Touching on your recent arrangement and agreements in Indonesia, a distribution pathway and a commercialisation opportunity, how big is that market and what do you need to do to unlock it commercially?
It's a very big market. There's around 280 million people in Indonesia. Now, unlike advanced markets like the US, there's only a percentage of the population that can afford a product like this. This sells for $25 to $30 Singapore per unit. And there'll be only a percentage of the population in Indonesia that can afford that, but still that's a very large number of people. So that's a very important market for us compared to, say, Singapore, where there are only 6 million people. Our pathway to market is to find a partner. Now, we may have stepping stones along the way to getting a final licensing partner to manage everything for us, but we're making progress in that regard. So watch this space on Indonesia and how we're moving forward with the commercialisation process.
And you're not a one-trick pony. You are developing 2 additional projects as your lead project commercialises. Can you talk about those projects and where they are on their commercialisation journey?
To some extent, I can, yeah. So the first one was a throat spray, which we introduced into Singapore in January this year. And that's going to be rolled out into other markets over time as well. The third product, which we will hopefully be announcing in the near future, I can't say anything about, but I can assure you it's going to be exciting. And then there's a fourth product we have up our sleeve, which will probably come out sometime next year.
And what are some of the commercial and regulatory milestones you're expecting to achieve over the next 6 to 12 months that investors should be focused on?
Well, look, getting a partner in Indonesia is important. Getting approval in the Philippines and launching the product in the Philippines through a partner we already have there will be important. Announcing a new product, a number 3 product in the range, that'll be important. And we're doing some things in the US that I think investors are going to find very interesting.
Significant markets, significant opportunity, exciting times ahead for Firebrick and its shareholders. Peter, thanks for your time.
Thank you.